we heard at the beginning, Poison Clan. I'm going to be releasing that through Royal Crowd Records in Norway, actually, of all places. They're a really cool indie label that does like EDM and grime as well as hip-hop. So I'm going to also be looking to film a music video for that. So I'm kind of trying to get the budget together and get that happening. And at the moment, I'm just doing every single week, I'm dropping a new remix and a video, which has been super challenging but also super fun. And I've just improved so much because of it, because I'm just forced to write new lyrics and make a new flow and everything every week. So every single Wednesday on Instagram. Every Wednesday on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. You can find me on Instagram at Daybreak MC. And same youtube.com/DaybreakMC, so you can watch my remixes on either of those platforms, and it's every single week, every Wednesday. That's what's on the horizon for me. Doing a show as well on July 22nd at the Railway, now called the Railway Stage and Beer Cafe, as part of a 3-day hip-hop festival.
I'll be doing the first day. I'll be DJing the whole day, the first day, I think.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, live from the underground.
So how do you pick the piece that you want to spit on?
For me, I'm less of a kind of 10-second first impression. I like to listen to the whole thing a few times and then see if I'm kind of feeling it or not. Up till this point, the first 2 singles I released were produced by me and DJ A-Slam as well, who we both know.
Yeah, shout out A-Slam.
Yeah, and the last beat by this guy, Retro Beats. And again, he hit me up on Instagram and I just heard it and really vibed with it, so... Yeah, I mean, I guess it is a little bit early, but I also like to kind of consider different facets of how I want my flow to be, so I like to listen to it like 2 or 3 times before I decide if I want to use a beat or not. You know, some of it I really don't like, and I just think is like, I don't know, I can't really get behind stuff like Lil Pump. I don't get Gucci Gang as a phenomenon. That's one of the most confusing things to me, that's actually a song that people like, and how popular it became. So a part of me is kind of not happy because, you know, coming from that background where I listen to old school hip hop and where I really appreciate lyricism and wordplay and just clever stuff and flow, it's a little tough. But I have found some artists I like. Little Skies, I don't mind some of his stuff, and I'm kind of trying to understand it a little bit more and be a little bit more open-minded towards it. In Korea, the hip hop scene at the time when I first got there and was first getting into the scene there wasn't really big. House music and a lot of EDM was kind of taking over, and K-pop of course is always just like these idol groups are at the center of everything, so there's kind of like the K-pop idol group scene and then there's kind of everything else in a way, and of course EDM's really big there. A lot of DJs are going through their touring and stuff, but I found it to be like whenever I did perform or whenever I did get an opportunity to perform with like Korean artists at different shows and stuff, the Korean audience is so unbelievably cool because their attitude when you go on stage and they're watching is they want you to do well. That's what I found in general. They want to cheer for you, they want to support you. So when you're in front of them and you're doing really well, they're going to cheer for you even more. And so the whole audience vibe is always kind of positive. So it's actually a little bit more comfortable getting on stage, in my opinion, in front of a Korean audience because they're kind of wide-eyed, like, ooh, what's going to happen now? And they're looking forward to what you're going to do as opposed to like trying to judge you.
What was the biggest audience that you played for over there?
Ooh, I played for an audience of a few thousand people at the Soremao Festival. I want to say 2,000 or 3,000 people, and it was the most bizarre situation because I was filming a TV show for SBS where basically they had me and a few other foreigners going around the city and going to the hot spots or whatever, and we ended up going to this huge music festival at a place called Soremao, which is kind of the French village over there, and it was massive. And the director just said, hey Jesse, do you want me to ask them if you can just go on stage and do a song? Right after this girl named Maya, who is a legend in the Korean rock music scene. So they literally had this woman that every single person in the audience knew who they were and is super famous perform, and then they last minute they were able to convince him to do it, so the announcers were like, okay, well now we have a special guest from Canada coming on, and they put me on right after Maya. So
did you rap in Korean or English?
In Korean, yeah, in Korean. So it was pretty nerve-wracking, but like I said, when I looked out to the thousands of people watching who were all Korean, they were smiling at me before I even said my first word. So they were kind of like, you know, like I said, that whole vibe of wanting you to do well and being interested in the performance.
That's dope.